Hello. I'm going to be streaming myself uh making an update for Murder Rose. I'm just going to be working on well, I actually haven't opened this in a long time, so I'm going to be working on whatever I need to. But I haven't not touched it since the last update, so there's a bunch of stuff here. But there is still a lot that needs to be done. So I'll just get into it, see what needs. It's been a long time, actually. If I remember correctly, the code for connecting isn't quite set up. So let's see. Hmm. Actually done anything here. So I'm still just trying to get used to everything that I've wrote. I actually think I have some of this information written down somewhere. Let me check. All right, let's see. So what is 101? 101 is sent data. 2 is checking data part 1. Oh, it's going upwards. Is it? That's stat 0. That's stat 1. That's stat. Yeah, it's going upwards. All right, so let's see. Ah, right. I think 201 is a yeah, it's a good connection. Uh, Isn't there something else it has to check? It's into 303, which is a player option error. 202 is a. Alright. Let's see. 203 would be host accepted, which happens when you do this. I'm guessing this is all automatic stuff. $313 is busy, as it would be suggested by this group. All right. I think the thing I was missing is starting the game. Like, this is all nice and dandy, but if there's a wait, did I start my timer? No, I didn't. All right. So what I want to do is I want to check if netstat is 0 to be in a waiting state for connections. But I need to make sure that that is actually set up correctly. Let's see. Yeah, it gets set to 0. It would be need to set to 0, and also I need to I'll do a check like this. Objects count. There we go. Is greater than 0. This way I will have I'll be able to determine when there's at least one person in the lobby. Which, if I remember correctly, there's nothing that creates a connection void before this. So I think this will be good. I don't know the extent of my jank code. Let's see. Then I would have to do another check for do I have something to start the game? Play a couple bucks. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze a lot. It's just like never mind. Split screen prompt settings prompt. I remember what that is. All right. Do I have anything? Wait, what was? I think I still have some old stuff in here. Rainy seem like it. So I'm gonna make something. I'm gonna make a little arrow. Probably gonna have to make it longer than this, but that's okay. I'll need it that long, but actually. Good. Except for one thing. Oh, thanks. I didn't know that I already had one. What? Let's see. So, hmm. I'll actually have to see how that is. Oh, I don't have a thing for it. So let's see. Let's see. What? Okay. The program's down. No. Fine. Hmm. What is that? And every day I am puzzled by my uh previous code. save this. Like that. So I have to hide that. Yeah, another thing I have to add to this. All right, so host games. So let's see. Subselect. This is split screen. Network game. All right, so network game subselect. Player one to the text global variable player. I mean, if I remember correctly, hold on. Let's take a look at something. Guest game. How far along is this in connection? Turn my volume down a bit. Let's see. There we go. Let's listen to both of them at once. So how quickly did that happen? How long is it gonna sit here? Alright then. Okay, so why is it going immediately to a no connection state? Let's see. So netstat equals -1. start host. No, wait, start client. That's what. Start connection. Hmm. Is this the thing responsible for stat one? I have no idea what I am doing. Clearly I don't, because I am stepping through my old code. I have basically no connection to the version of myself who written this. Figure everything out. So, I mean, this all goes to the same thing. What? Disconnect reason equals 0. Dude, disconnect reason equals 1. No connection. Oh, this one just says net stat -1 because that would be a disconnect reason. I know I'm gonna have to do a whole lot here to get everything working the way I want. The first thing I'm gonna do is a link to some Delta code. Link to, no, not quite what we want. All right, let's see. Okay, so variables, value of variable, value of a global variable. One second. All right. Now, hopefully, I can rework my code so that way it works with the time delta. And reason why I want to do that is so that way instead of capping my game to work at 60 frames per second, I can just let the game run at whatever frame rate it will, but still be consistent across time. And I know I have a lot of code to go through to do that. I'm gonna do nothing because GDevelop's gonna crash again. I know this is technically old software. I shouldn't uh, be using it, but this can compile and export to Windows executables. So I will continue using it. I don't know, it might be something with this particular project. Let's see. Oh, this is a text to tell you what you're hovering over. Let's notice though. No. Oh, it's probably the thing sitting at the bottom of the screen. Are these even placed then? On GUI, so they shouldn't be scrolling around. It's probably just to make sure that they're uh, exactly where they need to be, despite uh, changing string lengths and how the size of the object changes with it. And also, if I want to make the window able to be multiple sizes, uh, that would be helpful. So I'm not going to be. Let's see. So this would assume at 60 frames per second. Actually, I think on the older computer I was using, it was assuming that it was working on something lower than 60 frames per second, which is really jarring when you actually run it at 60 frames per second. Let me double check. Game. Yes. Change this to 1. And, well, until I do everything properly, I'm just going to leave it at 60. So, what would I want to do here? Probably divide by 1, however. Since I'm going to be Global variable timer working delta. This probably could be multiplied by like, well, first let's just guess, and then we can adjust that later. But to make it easier on myself, I'm just gonna paste. It didn't give me an error, so I'm hoping it works. Copy that just so I hmm. Another thing that I'm doing wrong in my previous ways of coding is just using a frame counter. This is alright for like NES games, SNES games, because typically those will run either at 60 frames per second or uh, something similar. You have a very consistent uh, working environment to program for on on video game consoles. Sometimes less, but uh, yeah, this is not a good thing to do for programming, especially on a computer. So this is assuming 60 frames per second, like the like the last thing. So let's see. So 60 divided by 8. It's 0.125. That's its change over. This is completely unnecessary though. Just wanted to make the title seem kind of very dreary. I already had the multiplication thing in the clipboard. There we go. I'm gonna double check that. Yeah, it isn't giving me. And actually, that doesn't work. But it's because I used a variable before, but then I used a variable that's not keeping track of time now. This is a local variable, which means I don't have to worry about resetting it. Actually, why did I do that? It was good the way it was. I didn't need to change it to an equal. All right. Correctly. That's the saved calculation that we've done. So that should work in its place. Though, I don't know if this will be jarring or not because, well, one, it has no impact on gameplay. So in theory, I could just have left it with working on a variable that just counts frames. And the other thing is that uh, it might be jarring to hear the pitch and volume drop dramatically, though typically it goes back and forth a little, like it goes back and forth uh in a very slow manner. So if you're dropping enough frames to notice that, there's a bigger issue at hand. So I could have left that the way it was, but then I, didn't realize that. All right, let's see. Anything else? I haven't checked everything here. Have I? I think that's everything though. All right. You know what? Let's check this because I'm sure I'm missing something. This probably is just a variable I threw in there without. Or I threw in there so that way I could read it easily. Keeping. Yeah, one of the things I wanted to do uh, in this update was add the ability to load maps. That's why in my video about the last update I said I was going to remove all the maps, is because I was going to delete these two maps uh, from the scenes and remake them in file form. Okay, so hold on. I'm losing track of things. Let's hold. Yeah, there's nothing here. No selection. Wait, shouldn't there be a... I do things weirdly. Hmm. Actually, I wanna test that. Right, test that piece of code. Yeah, I think I need to adjust these variables a bit. Let's see how it works with 20. I think it might not be working because it does it round the... I mean, camera control shouldn't necessarily be rounded. Oh, yeah, it's rounded right here. So I'd have to break that rounding point. Oh, but without this, without working delta, what is it like? Because in theory, it should be really, really fast. Yep, it's so fast it zoomed right away. This, hold on, hold. Give me a second. I think I might know what the problem is. First, is this? Well, it doesn't look like I did anything wrong here, but yeah, no, they're the same. All right. However, it's not working here. Oh wait, hold on. It shouldn't have that problem because it's not modifying the variables directly, which is a good thing, but it is instead uh, it's instead modifying internal variables to the object so that this will set the position based off of the internal variables. So these are untouched by this piece of code. They're just red. Wait, one more thing. Why didn't I just... Okay. Let's see, global variables. Timer. Wait a minute. Did I... No, I have it there. Then why isn't timer working delta without a full stop being set? Is That's why I'm stupid. I forgot to set it to a global variable. My bad. Alright, I mean, it makes sense because it should actually be going faster than how it was before. very snappy. I want a little bit more light. So I'm gonna set these like 20. Let's see. The variable before was divided by 4, which 60 divided by 4 would be 15. So I'm going to be setting these to 10 because I thought it was too fast when it was uh, frame based. Would you look at that? Smooth like butter. That's what I like to see. Alright. One, not even that big of an issue, but kind of an issue because it bugged me a little bit. Down. A lot of actual issues to go. For that matter of fact, I think first, right, I did controller conversion, so it's easy to just the keyboard or button. I like doing internal controllers, uh, virtual controllers. That way, uh, there's there's a neat little thing. So, right, here's another thing. Wait, I already have a calculator open. So, if someone is working on a game and they used to do things by frame rate, by assuming the frame rate and tying the game to a frame rate, you want to go with time. Just multiply whatever value you're constantly adding to by the frame rate you were assuming. This is the total for a second. Multiply it by your working or by your delta. Now, the reason why I put working delta here is because I may choose to actually I should also be doing another thing. Variables, value, all objects, variables, modify variable of an object. Characters. X. Well, this will work for this one minus y plus. I could have actually avoided a step if I just changed position y, dragged it over, and changed this one to a minus. Would have been one less change. Okay, so that's all fine and dandy, but it doesn't really help with anything. In fact, it kind of hurts things. But that's okay. I'm going to be changing my collision code anyways. And if I really want to get into buttery smooth character movement, I know how to do that. Why does this? I'm trying to remember what IGCU was and why it only affects the upward direction. ICD. Oh, oh. Why isn't this everywhere then? I'm gonna have to do some further code writing. Where's my timer? Ah, there's 10 minutes left. Oh, uh, what day is it? Alright. Well, I'm probably going to do this tomorrow and the day after. I say probably like I want to. No, it's not necessarily a want of mine, but I have told myself one thing that I would. Let's see. Characters is in collision with collision up. I am going to change that to be point. Wait, hold on. Okay, this is per character movement. I mean, it's kind of trusting, but I can change that later if it becomes too much of an issue. Let's see. Global variables, value of a variable. Objects, position, no. Collision, point inside an object. And we will do collision up and characters dot variable one. We want to invert that condition. Sorry, we want to there we go. There we go. There we go. But no, that doesn't work because we got to add 64 so that way we're halfway through the character, and then add 128. Now if I want to do more of a hitbox style, I could just place more of these, but I think I'm going to just modify where the collision is to be a little bit more specific to a point, so that way you don't run into a wall, or you don't look like you're flat as paper against a wall uh, when you're colliding with a collision. You look like you're a little bit out from the wall, you know, so things look a little bit normal. Collision up, I can get rid of that. And get rid of that. All right, expert mode 2 is, I'm probably going to modify it, how this calculates, but I wanted to have additional challenges in the game. So like you could choose an expert mode. I think 2 was the one about not being able to run, which makes the speed difference between the murderer and the player a lot more menacing. I mean, if the murderer can't run because you set their speed to like 1, then your your walking speed and their speed total is about the same. But I think actually it would be a speed value of 0 because I think for running and walking, I think they take walking, add a certain value to it for running. Let's see, characters variable. I also want to do the reason for this is because when Gimel is using his ability, he should be able to go through these pieces of collision. That's what they were for. Alright, collision up. Right, collision down. I've actually figured that working with just one single piece of collision at different angles is a neat thing when you want to make slopes and everything, but I didn't do that when I was making this, so it ain't here. I I probably should do that though. Though it would change how the character moves around fundamentally. Though that might be for the better, because they might actually have buttery smooth movements then. How much time is left? Ah, alright, alright. Let's see. Right. Another thing I also did was you're if you're playing as Mulk, uh, and you use your ability, only the person who made the sludge can walk through it normally. So if a character is in collision with sludge, if the conditions are true, which I need to modify this to probably just slow down the player. Also need to modify this to more reflect this. Uh, so actually I could do that with a simple check here. What? Let's double check that. Yep. It might be jank code that doesn't do what I want it to, but at least the IDE didn't give me any errors about it. So I can yell at myself later when it eventually doesn't work. Alright, then what we want to do here is if the character is in contact with the sludge and it isn't their own, set that to 0.5 so they move about half as much. I can also determine if the factor is lower than 1 to help with see, is greater than or equal to. I'll finish this up. So if factor is, I can get rid of that. This also opens up a little bit more for me to add additional reasons why the character might be slowed down. In fact, I can just move this here, get rid of that, get rid of this. So it'll be set to 1 every frame, and then it'll be set to 0.5 if you're in sludge that you do not own. So just gonna do this last little bit, and I will be on my way. Let's see. I'll need to do tests for this later, but actually, I want to give myself a note. Comment. Add. Now, since this is a game that is stylized as pixelated, one of the things I like doing is ensuring that characters don't move too smoothly. Like that character pixels aren't halfway through pixels on the background. For me, that's just like, okay, so you chose an art style, but you did literally nothing to back it up. Okay, that's a little harsh, but I don't like it when characters can move very, very gradually instead of on discrete pixels. I like it when the pixel grid is adhered to, which is also why I don't rotate anything other than by like 90-degree increments. I mean, I will rotate things that aren't seen by the player, like collision pieces, just to like not uh not these collision pieces because they are direction specific, but in other projects I have, I will rotate the collision pieces because in theory you should never be able to see them because they're invisible. but the everything that you can see should be aligned to a pixel grid. At least that's my philosophy for making games with pixel art. All right, that's about it for me. Goodbye, all.